Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Excuse my voice, allergies are very bad at the moment. This may turn out to be one of the most censored images you'll ever see of the Mars surface, because we have here on the page, this is the NASA page, a winged UFO flying around in Gale Crater. Quite clearly, this is the NASA page, right? This is not my page. I haven't built this. This is real, okay? You can download this. This is the NASA page, right? Mars exploration, okay? This is their official page. Here it is in the viewer. You can see it perfectly well there. It's well defined. I would say it's about 150 feet away, maybe 200, maybe 100, something like that. It's not very large. I would say this is about 6 feet across. It could be 8, it could be 5, I don't know. We don't know the exact distance, but I think it's around 6 or 8 feet in wingspan, okay? And you can see, even on this page here, you've got the UFO here, the winged UFO, flying V, and above it, we have a projectile coming down with a trail behind it, okay? You can even see the projectile quite clearly there. It's cone-shaped. There's the projectile coming down, cone-shaped, pointed at this end, pointing down, straight at this flying winged aircraft or drone or whatever it is. Right? It's coming straight down. Right? Now, this is my gigapan that I've uploaded. This is completely raw, this one in the middle. Same image, exactly the same. It's just been enlarged. Right? Projectile coming down. And there's the UFO there. Okay? Winged UFO. You cannot tell me that this is a meteor. You cannot tell me this is a lens flare. You cannot tell me this is a rock. Okay? Because it isn't. And anyone who says that has an ulterior motive. And may well be a bot. Okay? Because this is probably the best UFO image ever taken on Mars. I thought one or two of my previous ones were, until I found this the other day. I've got it up here on my Twitter account, and I'm the only person that shared it. Here's the image, my first post of it, right? June the 13th. It's been viewed 93 times in 4 days, and it has only been shared by me. So what is going on, right? Nobody's sharing this stuff. This is the most convincing image of a flying object on Mars ever, I would say. And nobody's sharing it. Why is that? I actually think people are sharing it. I think it's getting viewed way more than it says on YouTube. When you flick left and right, you can see that there's still something in the adjacent images, right? There's an object there. And maybe the same thing, way off in the distance. Here's the main image. There it is. There's the projectile coming down. There's the conical shell or rocket on the end with a trail behind it. It's heading straight for it. And then the next image is over here. But it's very faint. These are taken about 30 seconds apart, by the way. In fact, if it was traveling really fast, there'd be a lot more motion blur in this image, right? And there isn't that much motion blur. There is some, but not that much. The funny thing is, if you look at it on the actual page, like this, using the hover zoom magnifier, it's actually clearer. darker. When you enlarge it, it gets a little bit fainter, right? You can see that projectile there, and you can see the object here. And well, I don't know what else I can say about this, apart from the fact that only one or two people have said this is just something stuck to the camera. It obviously isn't, right? I've shown things that are stuck to the camera before. They appear as big, smudgy blobs, right? Bits of dirt, you know. This ain't dirt. You can see the wings on it. And I'm just going to point out, one or two people said it's a bird. It doesn't look like a bird initially. I will admit that. But when you look at it closely, like we have here, we have a very angular part sticking out there, right? If this was a bird, would it have that feature? And also, in a maneuver like this, where this thing's trying to dodge, looks like it's trying to dodge a projectile coming towards it. If these were wings, the wingtips would probably bend a little bit, like this, as it maneuvers round. Feathers would bend in a maneuver like this, right? That's just a fact, okay? That's what they do. This thing is way too uniform. The angles in it are too hard, I would say, to be a bird. So it's probably a drone, and it's not one of ours. The angle of the wings on the Mars drone are similar to the angle of these wings. This is a Chinese drone, which I think is pretty much a copy of that American one I just showed you. And look at the angle. So ignore this front part where the flag is here. Look at the back end. Look at this angle. These wings. Very similar. Right, I'm just going to flick through the images I've got here, okay? Full screen. Look at the angle. Look at the angle of these stabilizers at the back. I would say almost identical in angle, right? But it doesn't mean that this thing is from Earth. There's no evidence it's from Earth. We can speculate it might be, but why would it be? And why is there a projectile coming down directly towards it from above? Is this coming from a satellite or another aircraft higher up? I have shown much larger winged aircraft in recent videos at a much higher altitude, miles up, okay? Like a mile or two up. This is only about 150 feet high, maybe 100. And directly above it, we have this thing. Here's the projectile in negative. You can see it's conical shaped here, and the trail behind it. There it is, normal clip. There it is again. There's the flying V UFO or drone. Another clip, smaller. Here is a negative. Shows up much better in the negative, I think. You can see that angular part quite clearly. Look at it, just here. On the left, it's bigger, obviously, you can see it better. And where I've turned it round, you can see that angular part sticking straight up. So it's not a bird, right? Different filter, another filter. This is raw, with just the clips on the side. So the middle image here, the main image, is completely raw, it's just been enlarged, okay? Closer clip. Here it is showing the larger clip at the bottom. And here is my latest one, where I've shown the projectile with enhanced colour and negative, just there. Okay, you can see that it's conical shaped on the end, and there's a jet trail behind it, or rocket trail or whatever. This looks like a rocket. The question is, who launched this missile towards it? That's the thing we have to ask. This is obviously a drone. It's a very tiny possibility that it's one of ours. I don't think it is. Here's the projectile close up. There's the UFO. There it is, heading straight towards it. This is not a glitch. Look at the angles of these back wings or stabilizers on this US drone here. Look at them. Very similar angle. So ignore this part here. Just concentrate on that bit. There we are. Very similar. It's also similar to this angular, weird UFO that was spotted at Pescara in Italy in 1961. It has these strange angular parts sticking up. Stabilizers, right? This was before Photoshop, this image, right? I actually think a lot of the older images of UFOs are more reliable. Here's another US drone image. Look at the angle of these. Very similar. Not the same though. The Martian one has rounded wingtips, very slightly rounded on the end. They're not straight like these are. Here's the Gigapan image I've done. Raw image at the top. Different clips here, raw image there. Filtered images on the right. Look at the actual tips of the wings. They get thicker on the end. But the central part here is very angular. This is mechanical, right? It's not a bird. The other birds I've shown flying around, I think, are probably drones as well. They just look like birds, you know. They're meant to look like birds. So what else can I say about this? It's an incredible image. It shows that there is activity on Mars. This probably proves there are people there as well controlling these things, right? There's probably some guy or girl in a little building miles away from here, many miles away, in this crater, right? Controlling this drone, flying it. There may even be someone inside it. And we just don't know. You can see it's moving around here. And it appears up close. Here. There it is. And then it goes back over there. There it is. Vague, but it's there. It's moving around. It's not a glitch. It's not a meteor. It's not a rock. It's not a weather balloon. It's not swamp gas. This is, I would say, so far, the best image of a UFO on Mars. But will anyone get to see it? Will YouTube let anyone see it? Will Twitter let anyone see it? Will Facebook let anyone see it? Probably not. But if you share it, it will get seen. When I share stuff, it doesn't, right? They block it. But when you share it, they don't block it. Even on the NASA page, you can just use the hover zoom magnifier and you can clearly see the projectile there and the UFO there. So there we are. What else can I say?